I think we are the first generation that has the potential to be immortal, to live forever. And if you have unlimited time on this planet, that's going to significantly change your objectives and your decision making, because the limitation of time is the primary driver for so many decisions. A lot of founders and C-levels do not recognize this. But an organization is a living, breathing entity that changes all the time. And the representation that AI sees, that these algorithms see of the brand, does not match what their actual ideal customer profile or super consumer profiles are. Do we need to tell people who Apple is? Everybody knows who Apple is. Everybody knows the products, but they keep changing the message because the consumer base is dynamic, is changing. 10 years ago, we weren't stuck in a 3 to 5 second TikTok, Instagram attention span. So now you need to give the message more directly, you need to give the message faster, and you need to find underlying inception moments to get your message across. You don't have 5 minutes in an ad anymore. These AI models are answer engines. They're not answer engines, they're reflection engines. They reflect your doubts, they reflect your excitement, they reflect your dissatisfaction.
So there are thousands of PR agencies. What makes us different from them?
Well, we created an entire matrix of visibility, leveraging our experience from the past few years and from the past few decades on everything we know about Google, everything we know about authority, everything we know about the LLMs, and we applied that back into a PR strategy that works very efficiently. You see, traditional PR agencies get a client and they meet around the table and they discuss which publications they should pitch this client to with what angles. We don't do that. We have relationships with 10,000 different outlets. We have taken all of these outlets, we have crawled every single post that they have ever done, every single article, every single study. We know which journalists, which authors write for them. We know what a specific author wrote about in the past 36 months. So when I'm ready to do a pitch to a specific journalist, and that journalist might have covered that topic 3 months ago, I know better than pitching that same topic to that journalist. We loaded all of this into our own database, our own AI-powered database, and within milliseconds, we can come up with content pillars and pitch ideas. And we don't have to meet around the table and discuss this for hours and hours and hours. Now, simultaneously, I also crawl the clients or the brands or the prospects' entire digital footprint, all of the blog posts, all of the service pages, everything that they've ever done, everything on Reddit, any comment that any customer has ever left for them. So I have better information, I have better data, I have better analysis capabilities, and I have the know-how of how these publications, how these authors actually decide to feature a specific article or an idea. This is why we are better. This is why we are different, because we're not doing this like we were doing it in 2005. We are leveraging the same technologies that we are screaming about.
So we audit a lot of these brands as part of our AI visibility offering, and a lot of the times they show up in AI a bit differently than how they represent themselves. What's going on there, and how do we fix that?
A lot of founders and C-levels do not recognize this, but an organization is a living, breathing entity that changes all the time. Your organization is changing as we speak. So the representation that you have on your website of your services or products that you typed out 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, might not be valid anymore. And as the CEO, as the CMO, as the CFO, as the CIO, you might not see that. This happens so often. I speak with different teams and different organizations, sized anywhere from 50 employees to 10,000 employees. And we look at the digital footprint. We'll crawl all of their pages, all of their sites, everything that's ever said about them on social media, all the comments on Reddit, all the comments on G2. And the representation that AI sees, that these algorithms see of the brand does not match what their actual ideal customer profile or super consumer profiles are. Why does that happen? Because your services, your products are evolving, your messaging is evolving, and your ICP and your super consumer profile are not evolving with it. So there's a disconnect when I go to any AI model or when I enable my own AI crawlers and I say, go crawl this brand name and tell me what their ICP is, tell me what services they target, tell me what their ideal buyers are. What are the 10,000 businesses that they would love to do business with? There's a mismatch. And the whole idea of what we are doing is to realize that the concept of marketing, the concept of branding, the concept of PR needs to be dynamic now. It cannot be static anymore. This is why if you look at the best companies in the world, they're not doing the same banners, they're not doing the same ads. You don't see the same billboards and same messaging from Apple. Do we need to tell people who Apple is? Everybody knows who Apple is, everybody knows the products, but they keep changing the message because the consumer base is dynamic, is changing. 10 years ago, we weren't stuck in a 3 to 5 second TikTok, Instagram attention span. So now you need to give the message more directly, you need to give the message faster, and you need to find underlying inception moments to get your message across. You don't have 5 minutes in an ad anymore. And that's what brands do not understand. Whomever you think you're targeting might not be the people who are seeing your message right now. And that market message mismatch is the exact challenge that we fix with our execution at Zen Media.
We sometimes write articles that are specifically optimized for machines rather than humans. Why is that an important part of our strategy, and how does that affect AI visibility?
This is a tricky topic. So I don't agree with the fact that we actually write articles for the machine. In theory, yes, we write the articles friendly for the machine, for AI crawlers and for AI algorithms. But in application, AI cares about what humans want. AI is always trying to solve human problems. If you have a conversation with ChatGPT and you say, that's not what I was looking for, ChatGPT is going to agree real quick. It's like, you're right. That's the first sentence. Why? Because a lot of people think, we talked about this, a lot of people think that these AI models are answer engines. They're not answer engines, they're reflection engines. They reflect your doubts, they reflect your excitement, they reflect your dissatisfaction. So essentially, this comes back to the same concept of the enemy of my enemy is, right? So,
my friend.
Correct. So if you think about that, no, we're not optimizing these for machines. We're optimizing these articles, this content, for the machines that care about what humans think, and their primary objective is to solve the human equation. Because if I directly optimize it for the readers, for the human, I might not be getting the message across because of the limitation of that 3 to 5 second TikTok attention. But the machine is better at translating the context because the machine has access to the information and the context of the entire planet. It is going to do a better job translating that into the human language than if I would be able to directly do that. That's why we optimize and write for the machines. In theory, but in application, the audience is still human.
So what's your learning routine like, and how do you stay ahead?
I do things that I'm excited about. And more after the age of 40, I really don't do things that I'm not excited about. I just bypass it real quick. Because I think something happens after you're 40 where you just stop wasting time. You're like, I'm just not gonna do this. So, because of the fact that I focus on things that I'm excited about, my learning curve is a lot faster. I'm excited about AI, I'm excited about technology, I'm excited about philosophy, I'm excited about sales, I'm excited about inception moments with the buyer. Not because I'm trying to manipulate anybody, but it's fascinating to me how humans make decisions, correctly or incorrectly. Now, the concept of addiction is fascinating to me. And you can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to cocaine. You can be addicted to the gym. You can be addicted to yoga, right? These are all different patterns of habit. And when I look at that, I'm excited at a high level about growth. So I think that's the primary thing. The secondary thing is when I'm excited and interested about something, I put it on my calendar. I don't just say, oh, I might read a book this weekend. Oh, I'm gonna do this. No, because if you're a professional, you put it on your calendar, you know you're gonna do it. If you don't put gym on your calendar, you're never gonna go to the gym. If you're a professional means you have a professional job, you get on Zoom calls, you get into meetings that are on your calendar. Like, that's why anybody that tells me they're serious, or any young person that tells me they want to grow, I'm like, the first thing that I say is, let me see your calendar. Because your calendar is gonna tell me if you're full or if you're legit.
What's a belief you have about the future of buying behavior that would cause people to think you're a bit crazy?
I think people would think that 10 years ago. I don't think people today would think that I'm crazy if I came up with these concepts. And I did say these things 5 years ago, and people did call me crazy. So here is the highest level insane prediction that I have. And it's not even my prediction. Other people have mentioned this as well. But I genuinely believe that this is happening. And I talked about this about 5-6 years ago. Maybe the video guys can pull up the copy and sometimes merge this. I think we are the first generation that has the potential to be immortal, to live forever. And if you have unlimited time on this planet, that's going to significantly change your objectives and your decision making, because the limitation of time is the primary driver for so many decisions. As a matter of fact, I would say something like 70-75% of B2B buying decisions has to do with the limitation of time. If you had 1,000 years to make $1 billion, Burak, how likely is it that you're going to succeed?
Zero. Urgency is everything.
Correct. If you know that you're going to live to be 160 years old, your entire timeline of what you target is going to change from a success standpoint, right? So that's the prediction that I have. The anti-aging, the being able to live forever, the being able to clone your conscience, the being able to connect your brain, your processor to a collective consciousness, which is right now, to get information, I have to open up a book and read it. Right now, I have to go to the internet and browse, right? But there's gonna be a point, and I think very soon, where you're just gonna literally think about it and you're gonna open your eyes and you'll know. I mean, isn't that
like
what
the Matrix?
Yes, isn't that what Wi-Fi is? Explain to me the theory behind Wi-Fi. How am I downloading all these things, videos, concepts, web pages, and it's coming to me through the air? So I just need a receiver, correct? I just need a router that translates that wavelength into data. How is that any different? We're just not there from a technology standpoint, but we will get there. So when that happens, I don't think our core necessities as humans, the social aspect of how we live, I don't think any of that is going to change. I think what is going to change is how we look at the concept of time, limitations, death, resources. And Elon Musk talks about this. A few billionaires talk about this. I'm not the only one talking about this. But you kind of see the gradual improvements that we're going through. And we are seeing this more and more often. There was a period of maybe 10, 15 years this didn't happen. But now, almost every 3 months, 4 months, we're like, holy, no way I can do this now. Just look at these user-created content, the UCGs that people can do now. That just popped up. It's like, it's insane. It completely destroys influencer marketing. It kills it. And there's a small population that's chasing this growth, but there's a whole population that has no idea what's real and what's fake. So what are you going to do with that? Is there an opportunity? So this is why I'm excited about this, because it's moving fast, because it is dynamic.
What do you wish clients would understand ahead of getting on a call with you?
Nothing. I trust the process. You see, my message is not for everybody. I have a skill set. Not everybody is going to understand that. My ICP cannot be 100% of people that I speak to, right? So I have to respect that we're all different, that we all make decisions differently. You might not be ready to receive the message and the value that I'm attempting to portray. You might not be ready for that, and that's okay. So I literally have zero expectations when I speak with somebody. The best that I can do is provide as much value as I can, lead with value, without being pushy, because I know sooner or later they're going to come back or they're going to get the concept. So all I have to do is really focus on the message and the best way that I can give that message. And that's authenticity, by the way. That's genuine authenticity, which I think is going to be a huge differentiator in the next 5 to 10 years, regardless of your industry, regardless of your profession. If you can just be honest, if you can just be truthful, if you can just genuinely care about the outcome, not just money. Yeah, money is nice, but money is the byproduct of the value that you create. I'm not the only one that says this. Every single successful person is going to say this. Nobody who's a billionaire comes up and says, "Oh man, you see how I con these people?" People in jail say that. So, yeah, there's a way to consistently grow and beat the market.
What is one thing you believe about AI visibility that no one is talking about?
I think we're in the Stone Age when it comes to AI visibility. I don't think that majority of decision makers, C-levels, founders, CEOs understand the implications of AI visibility. And we call it AI, but think about this as like a collective consciousness visibility. Imagine there was an entity that could say yes or no to any decision with 99.9 100% accurate probability. That's where AI is going. Should I do business with Zen Media? Yes or no? One answer. I don't think people understand that. And as more people, as billions and billions of people have conversations with AI and pour their hearts to AI and talk about psychological issues, friends and family, business issues, contracts, gym, exercise, just think about all the conversations that you yourself have with AI. Like the sheer amount of deep context information that you're giving to AI about your core self, about the deepest parts of you. And that's all going into a learning model that learns how you make decisions, how you think. It even knows things that you might not be aware of subconsciously. How is that going to change the buying cycle? We don't care about AI visibility. It's insane. It's almost like it's magic. You don't want to be a part of this magic? You don't see it? You think this is SEO? Like, that's what I see. I think that a lot of people do not see. And the only reason that I can see it is because I'm in it 4 or 5 hours a day and I'm paying attention.